Winter, a time when the north sparkles with freshly fallen snow. Trees are covered with twinkling frost, and everything is blanketed in a layer of bone-chilling ice and bitter cold. Yep, we're out of here. Come along with us on this series as we head south for the winter. We spend Christmas with our family and friends, meet wildlife in the swamps of Louisiana, discover the history and remote corners of Texas, experience the diversity and enchantment of New Mexico, and soak up the unexpected solitude in Utah. Journey with us as we become snowbirds for the very first time. We're doing it!
It's official. We're taking our first trip with our new home in tow.
With bitter cold weather at our backs, we left our home base in Washington in early December, anxious to get to warmer temperatures. Traveling in an RV when it's below freezing is not ideal.
So this is what happens when the RV manufacturer doesn't put any kind of heat strip on your sewer valve here. You inevitably are going to get a little bit of leakage, maybe not very much, but a little bit, and that little bit, once it freezes, means that you can't twist off the cap. So later on this trip, when we're stable for a little while, I'm going to run heat strip on both this waste pipe and then the one in the rear as well for the kitchen.
Since the main purpose of this trip was to be with our family over the upcoming Christmas season, the first few days were spent almost entirely on the road. Though they were thrilling and fascinating, we'll spare you the 15 hours of road footage from this section of the trip.
We're out at Kaycee, Wyoming. We're about 70 miles north of Casper. Winter has already set here, as you can see. They've got about 8 inches of snow on the ground right now. It's already dropped to 29, it's supposed to get down to 22. So we're gonna be running the furnace pretty hard tonight, I suspect. But this is a nice little campground. Surprisingly, we have the whole thing to ourselves. Nobody else here. We're a bit tired, but the road has gone really well. We've made pretty good progress. Towing has been great, and we're ready to get some quick supper and go to bed. You've got a leaf on your head. Hey!
That's what you get for scaring me!
Hey!
Well, first thoughts on traveling in a truck pulling a fifth wheel versus Winnie, our little Class C motorhome. We like it. It's not as much of a aggravation to stop and get things out of the rig when you want a snack or when you have to use the bathroom. Certainly not as convenient as just being able to get up and go grab it while Will continues to drive, but it's going pretty well. I'm surprised at how maneuverable it is.
Yeah, everything has gone really well with driving, and my folks gave Kaylee a little tablet, kid's tablet, with lots of restrictions and all that. She's not just doing whatever, but she's had a fantastic time getting to play little games, do some educational stuff on there. and she has just been a champ on the road.
This has made a huge difference in how satisfied she is to just sit and drive. She does take breaks, and we, you know, listen to Christmas music and talk about things that we're seeing. And the frustrating part of being on a deadline with having to get to Kansas City this weekend to see some friends, and then eventually to Mississippi.
Which we're super glad to do. We're super excited to see our friends.
But we are just dying to stop and get out and explore and see things. We're passing through so much historical stuff, and we want to take the time to stop, but we can't. And so that's been the only frustrating part about the last few days, is just not being able to wing it the way that we want to.
And the other part of it too is it's just flipping cold.
It is so cold.
I mean, most of the time whenever we're getting up in the mornings, it's in the teens.
Yeah.
It was like 16, 17 this morning when we got up, and it's warmed up now to like 33, but still you get a little bit of a breeze and it's chilly.
We did, however, make a few quick stops to learn more about the history of the region, beginning with the National Historic Trails Interpretive Center in Casper, Wyoming. The center showcases the major trails that led to the expansion of the American West during the mid-1800s. Over 500,000 people migrated primarily for free land, free gold, and freedom of religion. These brave souls endured hardships, hunger, disease, and even death in their search for prosperity and freedom. They are the real pioneers who paved the way for the millions who came after them.
All right, people, let's get this coach loaded. We got to get back on the road. People, come this way, please. Let's get this team hitched up. We got a schedule to keep.
This has certainly been one of the best visitor centers we've ever seen. Far better than most national park visitor centers, in my opinion. The show they have here is amazing. It gives you so much context as to what happened behind all of the different migrations of people westward. The exhibits, a lot of them are hands-on, are just top-notch. You could easily spend half a day here just reading everything. Unfortunately for us, we only have a little bit of time to spend here, but this has been a really, really cool stop.
So we have always been fascinated with the history of our country, particularly how the West was settled. So here in Wyoming is a place where you can actually still see the ruts that the covered wagons dug into the soft sandstone. They say at points it's actually about 3 feet deep.
Good morning. We spent last night at the parking lot here for the Oregon Trail Ruts. It's not very big, but it's big enough for us for sure, and other people could have come in here as well. And there were no signs saying you couldn't park here overnight, so we did. And it got pretty chilly again, 17 this morning. So it's a little cool. And we're gonna try to get over to Scotts Bluff National Monument and maybe at least drive through there. I don't know how much hiking is going to happen as cold as it is, but we'll at least get to see what we can see from the truck. Today's going to be our biggest mileage day so far on the trip. We're going to try to go about 360 miles. We've been around 250 or so up until now. So we'll see how that goes.
We are on the Oregon Trail. It's actually paved. I am so happy that we're here. This has been just a wonderful trip so far. And I'm just really happy to be here.
One of the most recognized landmarks along the westward trails was Scott's Bluff, towering 800 feet above the prairie. Reaching the bluff was a celebrated milestone for the pioneers on their long journey.
I'm so glad we decided to stop and see Scott's Bluff National Monument. Just to think of the fact that 400,000 to 500,000 people came right through here and saw this monument on their way out to Oregon or California or Utah. It was not an easy thing for these people to do. We take traveling so for granted now. We get to travel with our kitchen and our bathroom and our beds, and these were the original modes of RVing and it was not nearly as comfortable as what we have it now. These were some hardy people that did this, looking for a better life, looking for a better way of living for their families.
I promise
I promise
to preserve and protect
to preserve and protect
my national and state parks
my national and state parks
and to share my discoveries
and to share my discoveries
with others.
with others.
Perfect. You're now Junior Ranger. Just like that.
So much!
You're welcome.
Our final stop in Nebraska was at Chimney Rock, a 300-foot high formation visible from miles away. It was the first feature of Western geology that the migrants saw along the trails.
Well, good morning from Kansas City. We made it here last night. This was our first planned stop of the trip. We have some really sweet friends that live here and we decided to spend the weekend with them. So we had a wonderful night here at our boondocking spot, also known as Cracker Barrel. A lot of Cracker Barrels allow RVers to overnight camp in their parking lot for free. So we went in last night and had a wonderful dinner. It was so nice not to have to cook and do dishes and all of that last night. That was a nice change. And we slept really, really well. So really thankful for their hospitality. And we've nicknamed boondocking at a Cracker Barrel Crackdocking. So if you ever hear us talk about Crackdocking, you know what we're talking about.
Hanging out with our friends for the weekend gave us a much-needed break from the road. We were reminded that this new lifestyle would allow us to maintain relationships by having much more time to spend together with the people we love.
Here we go, fast all the way. Coming through. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.44. It's the same. You tied your last time. Pretty fast.
Yes,
That's pretty amazing to get up off the couch and go that fast.
yes.
Join us down the road as we tour Hot Springs National Park in Arkansas and enjoy time with family and friends in Mississippi. And until next time, enjoy your journey.